Hey friends, let's get moving. I'm recording this on a rainy day, and I don't know about you, but sometimes it feels really hard to get up and get moving on these rainy days. So this class is going to be mellow and gentle, perfect for the cozy vibes that you might want on a rainy day. So I'm going to keep my socks on. You're welcome to keep your socks on, and you'll probably want a blanket for padding underneath your knees. Let's get started. So we're going to come into an all fours position. Spread the fingers wide and push through the palms. So when you push through your palms, feel your shoulder blades spread apart on your back. Tuck your chin a little bit. And take a deep breath in. And exhale, big sigh through the mouth. And again, inhale. Big sigh. So from here, start to lift your tailbone towards the ceiling. And then stretch your chest away from your tailbone forward. Looking forward. And then let's go ahead and tip the tailbone down towards the ground, letting that wave through the spine, arching your back. And then from here, again, the tailbone lifts towards the ceiling, unfurling the spine, sending the center of the chest pointing forward, looking forward any amount. And then last one here, tip the tailbone down towards the ground, waving up through the spine, arching your back, pushing through your hands, even maybe bring your chin towards your chest. And then let's shift the left hip and the left shoulder towards one another, elongating the right side. And then switch and bring the right hip towards the right shoulder, elongating the left side. One more each way. Channeling your inner cat. Great. And come back to center. And then from here, take your right arm out to the right and then thread it through in between the left thigh and the left hand. And you can work the right shoulder down, resting the head maybe. One deep breath. And then pushing back up to all fours. And let's go over to the other side. So take your left arm out and thread your left arm through the hole between your right hand and your right knee, working the left shoulder down, the head down. One deep breath. And then pushing back up to all fours. And from here, let's go ahead and sweep the right foot to the front of the mat and lift the torso upright. So we're in kind of a low lunge position, but start out with your hips stacked over your left knee. My right foot is forward of my knee because I want to keep my neutral pelvis, and I'm going to lunge forward. It's okay if your front knee goes in front of your front ankle. What we're kind of reaching for or paying attention to is the stretch sensation on the front of the left thigh and the front of the left hip. And then we're just going to sprout the left arm up high as the right hand reaches down for the ground. So it's not a super big side stretch or a super deep reach over to the right, but just notice how reaching down through the right fingertips really does light up the left side. One more breath, feeling the rib cage expand. And come back upright, shift your hips back, and let's come back to kneeling, and we're gonna sweep the left foot forward now. Same thing here, low lunge. So we're starting in a neutral pelvis with the hips over that right knee, and then we're gonna lunge forward any amount. Remember that it is okay if your left knee goes in front of your ankle, just as long as it feels good for your knee. Find what's kind. Okay, and then from here, sprout your right arm up, root your left hand down. So you're reaching up and over with the right arm, reaching down into the ground with the left hand. And breathe. One more breath here. And come back upright. Release your arms, shift your hips back. Okay, back to kneeling. So from here, we're gonna come into kind of a frog type position, saying hello to our inner thighs. So I'm gonna bring my hands down to the ground, and I'm gonna take my feet, my toes out from side to side, and I'm gonna separate my knees a bit wider than my hips. And then I'm just gonna shift my hips forward and set my hips back. So you have lots of variables here to play with. You can see how it feels to keep your heels closer in than your knees, or you can keep your heels kind of right in a line with your knees. You can maybe even take your knees wider apart. I like to keep my knees a little bit in, but then drop down to my forearms. And then that way when I send my hips back, it just feels like a really manageable stretch. Okay, so just forward and backward here. Saying hello to the inner thighs. One more. Great. And then I'm gonna prop back up onto my hands, and I'm gonna kick my feet in and then bring my knees in. And then from here, curl your toes under and shift your hips back towards your feet. Go ahead and press your toes into the ground. Press, press, press. One more breath here. Okay, and then come back upright into your all fours. So from here, pick up your right knee and you're gonna cross it over to the left, okay? And then shift your hips back any amount. Shift forward to your hands, uncross. Then you're gonna pick up your left leg, same thing. You're gonna cross your left leg over to the right, so your left knee taps down on the outside of your right knee, and shift your hips back. Come back to all fours. Pick up the right leg, put the right knee down over on the left, sit back, and again, come back to all fours. Last one. Left leg crosses over to the right and sit back, coming back to all fours. Great job. So from here, go ahead and get your hands up off the ground, and we're going to turn sideways on the mat. We're going to take the right leg out to the side, and then you're going to, I'm a little teapot, bring your left hand down to the ground and swoop your right arm overhead, stretching all the way from your right fingertips through your right foot. You can let your neck and head wilt. And then bend your right elbow and bring your right hand to kind of cradle the back of your head and the back of your neck. Get strong in your left hand and your left shoulder and spin your chest open towards the ceiling any amount as you press your head back into your hand. Deep breath in. And then let your torso close off towards the ground. So your right elbow is going to be pointing towards the ground now. Right shoulder moving towards the ground. Keeping the back of the neck long. And then again, opening the chest back up towards the ceiling. Getting your mouth stuck in your shirt like me. And again, elbow pointing down, closing the chest off towards the ground. Last one, open back up towards the ceiling. And then come back to kind of a neutral position and reach your elbow away from your hip, away from your leg. And take a deep breath in. As you exhale, come back upright. So maybe you feel a little like this. Let's even ourselves out. Left leg out to the side. Bring your right hand down. I'm a little teapot. Bring your right hand down. Bring your left hand to swoop overhead. And so stretching far apart from your left foot to your left fingertips. Maybe letting your neck and head wilt. And then bend your left elbow and cradle your head in your left hand. Make your right arm strong, right hand strong, and then open your chest towards the ceiling any amount. It might be just a little teeny movement, and that's fine. And then start to reach your elbow down towards the ground, closing your chest back off towards the ground. And then again, opening back up. And again, closing your chest back towards the ground. Keeping the back of your neck nice and long. Okay, and when you come back to open back up, then just kind of come to a spot in the middle. So your shoulders are kind of squared straight ahead, but then reach your left elbow forward and, like overhead, up away from your left foot. Great job. Take a breath in and exhale to come back up. Woo! Okay, now go ahead and transfer onto your tush. Bend your knees out in front of you and come back down to your forearms behind you. Okay, so keep your gaze forward, your chin slightly tucked, and then let your rib cage settle down. Okay, keep your rib cage settled down, but press into your elbows and then relax. And again, press into your elbows. It's kind of like tucking your shoulder blades into your back pockets. And then relax and the shoulder blades rise a little bit. Notice if it's easier to press more with one elbow than the other. One more. And then press into your hands and rock yourself back upright. Okay, so from here, we're gonna sit crisscross. And so if when you try to sit crisscross, you feel like you're really getting slumpy, then you can fold your blanket underneath your bottom. You can also sit on a bolster, a couch cushion, a stack of pillows, whatever you need to do to be able to sit upright. And so from here, you're gonna hook your thumbs together, lift your arms up, and try to break that clasp. So you're reaching your hands apart. Make sure your rib cage is nice and mellow, and then you're just gonna lean forward any amount and come back upright. And again, lean forward any amount. Keep reaching the arms apart. Come back up. Last one. And come back up. Okay, release your arms down and switch the cross of your legs to the weird way. And then again, hook your thumbs. Get extra credit if you can hook your thumbs in the opposite direction as you did the first time. So try to break that clasp, lift your arms overhead, mellow ribs, and again, lean forward any amount and come back up. Two more. Lean forward and come back up. Last one. And come back up. Release your arms down. Okay, and now you're gonna, if you're sitting on your blanket like I am, go ahead and get that out from under you. And we're gonna fold it into a low pillow. Put it up towards the front of the mat and go ahead and lie down on your back. Okay. Oh, it feels so good to lie down. Okay, so from here, go ahead and cross your left thigh over your right thigh, like you're wearing a skirt, trying to be modest. And then go ahead and pick your hips up and swing them to the left a little bit, set your hips back down. And then let your legs tip over to the right, any amount. Take some deep breaths. Tip your knees back up to center. Pick your hips back up into the middle. Uncross, both feet on the ground. Take a full breath in and out. And then cross your right thigh over your left thigh. Lift your hips up a bit, swing them to the right, set them down, and then tip your legs over to the left, any amount. Enjoy some deep breaths. And bring your legs back upright. Swing your hips back to center. Uncross, both feet on the ground. Adjust your wardrobe as needed. Take a full breath in and out. Okay, so from here, pick your right foot up interlace your fingers behind your right thigh. So you're gonna pull with your hands and push with your legs. So you're creating some resistance here. And then extend your right leg up any amount. Okay, it's okay if your knee remains somewhat bent. Circle your ankle in both directions. And then keep the sole of your foot shining towards the ceiling and extend your left leg straight, strong on the ground. Dig your left heel into the ground. Use your whole leg to dig the left heel into the ground. I'm even starting to feel my left glute starting to fire up to help with that. For 3, 2, 1. Now keep your leg up in the air, but let go. Keep pressing through the left leg and then reach forward and away with your right heel as you lower. Lengthen to lower. Great. Take a full breath in and out. Relax your legs. Okay, come back to knees bent, feet on the ground. And then pick your left leg up. Interlace your fingers behind your left thigh. So you're going to pull with your hands and push with your leg. Extend your leg up any amount. Take some of those lovely ankle circles. Both directions. And keep the sole of your foot shining up towards the ceiling and stretch your right leg out straight, strong. You're gonna dig your right heel into the ground. So much so that maybe your right glute starts to fire up. And then keep your leg up, but let go. And you're gonna lengthen as you lower. So reach your left heel away from your head as you slowly lower towards the ground. Keep pushing through the right foot. And when your heel hits the ground, go ahead and relax. Take a full breath in and out. One more time, bend your knees, put your feet on the ground. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, press through your heels and lift your hips up any amount. Inhale, set the hips down. And again, exhale, lift the hips. Inhale, set the hips down. This time, lift the hips up. And now, to set the hips down, we're going to try to segment the spine and lower one vertebrae at a time. Going really slow. Nestling each vertebra into the ground until the tailbone unfurls. So from here, bring the soles of your feet together and your knees apart. Rest your hands on your belly, close your eyes. Soften your jaw, let your tongue relax to the bottom of your mouth. With your hands resting there gently on your belly, just feel the movement of your torso as you breathe. Enjoy one more breath here. And if you're feeling cozy and you have the space in your schedule to do so, hang out here, get into a comfy position. Maybe you straighten your legs, maybe you roll to your side, maybe you just take a nap. set yourself a timer and go for it. But if you need to move on with the rest of your day, blink your eyes open and reach your hands down for your thighs and let your hands help you close your book. And then channeling your sloth nature, roll over to one side and slowly sit up. I hope that felt worth it. I know it can be easy to cozy up and be still on a dreary, rainy day. And so if you decided to get up and get moving, even in this small way, proud of you. Great job. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.